A very warm welcome to everyone on this Monday night. It's simRace South Africa. I'm Ryan Hill. I'll be your host tonight for all of the action on track. We are back with round 2 of the simM2, which is named so called because of the BMW M2 CS Racing that we're doing here. Round 2 is at Oulton Park. If you've tuned in a little bit, you would have been seeing the drone footage go on in the background. And guys are making their way out on track. I will be joined most hopefully with my co-commentator Gas a little bit later this evening. He can't make it here for the start, but he will be joining us sometime after about 8:30, thankfully. So we'll tune in for that. I'm going to cut to the action very shortly. Just a little bit about the track itself. So we're at Oulton Park. It's obviously in England, just outside of Cheshire, near Chester, the city. And it's a pretty cool circuit. You can see from a lot of the drone footage, there's quite a few rapidly changing gradients, blind crests, several tight corners. It's about just under 4.5 kilometers long. And as you can see from the track map I have up here, it's just about 17 corners going around the track. It's a very tight and twisty track, very narrow, I would say. I know when we've raced GT3 cars here in the past, it's been very challenging just because of the lack of space on the track, but I think with these slightly smaller, sort of agile, slightly slower BMW M2 CS Racing cars, I think it's going to produce some fantastic racing, so we'll look out for that. And as you can see, there's quite a couple of straights around, a couple of good hairpin bends. Shell Oil's corner in particular, there's a little bit of a chicane bump around turn 789. Another chicane around about turn 10, where you see Hislops over there. And then just some windy, undulating corners all the way around the back straight, just after corner 15 to Druids Corner, all the way down to turn 16 Lodge Corner, just before the final pits start straight again. So that's the track. Looking at the weather forecast, so it's going to be interesting to see. In the practice session now, it is looking dry. The weather forecast for this evening is actually wet, and there we can see, as I've cut to the live footage now, the track is looking a little wet. We're going to have a little look in a sec. I actually just need to hit drive again to get live. There we go. As to what the conditions are doing. You can see as well in the top right how the track is going to progress over time, the dynamic track. You can see it's obviously currently wet. In 10 minutes time it looks like the rain is stopping, and the same for 30 minutes time. But yeah, for now certainly the track is looking wet. The temperature forecasted to be roughly 18 degrees average across the race weekend itself. Obviously that itself will progress. Right now we're seeing 19 degrees ambient, 24 degrees track temperature. Wind is non-existent, so that's not really going to factor anything right now. Of course, this is the qualifying session, which is simulated to be on Saturday. When we flip to the race session, simulated to be on the Sunday, I mean track weather and the track progression itself may have changed again, so we'll have to see how that gets on. While we have it, another 26 minutes of qualifying. I'm just going to go through the championship standings. So this was obviously after the first round held at Laguna Seca a couple of weeks ago, and Ross Bartle topping the charts with his first race win for the season. Charles Wilkin coming in a close second. Nick Hodson rounded out the podium for that race last week. And then, as you see on screen, the top 20 drivers out of the 40 odd that we have registered for this division tonight. Hopefully everyone's going to make it out on track. I see 32 drivers, so still missing a couple. I did get about 2 or 3 drivers excuse themselves from tonight's race. But otherwise, yeah, having a nice full field as it stands. So, yeah, guys, we'll have another 25 minutes or so just to get their qualifying laps in. We're also getting a nice look at some of the custom liveries we have at simRace South Africa. Pop on some desktop audio. Apologies for the engine noises not coming through until now. you can see how just how the BMWs are bouncing around there, and every time it does so, there's a big splash of water. So I think there's quite a bit of standing water on track right now, but that should definitely. In fact, I already see the dry line developing there as cars continue to drive by, and because it's actually, there we go, it's stopped raining right now, so this track will continue to dry up through the remainder of qualifying, it seems, which I'm sure is going to delight drivers, or at least some will be feeling somewhat relieved, but it may also throw some interesting strategy choices into the mix, as you know, guys will have to decide, okay, are they on the wet tire right now, or are they on the dries? I'm pretty sure they're going to be on dries very shortly if they aren't all already, as we see SAS van der Vesteden and the Grumpy Monkey Sim Racing followed closely behind. Looks like one of the Yellow Design Co cars, which I do know is probably Jonathan Benz. If we flip to him now, could be Emily Benz as well, but both running the Ghostworks Racing livery, designed by yours truly of Jonathan Benz, that is, by the owner of Yellow Design Co. They are listed in our Yellow pages on our Discord if anyone is looking to reach out to Jonathan for some of his services. He's made some really kick-ass liveries for a number of drivers in the field across tonight. Having a quick look at the top of the field, Nick Hodson currently topping the charts, Sean Bingham just behind him in P2. So our camera tries to find him, there he is, in his nice standout orange and black livery. Greg Hofard has just popped himself up into slot number 2. I love the livery on this car. If you catch a good glimpse of it as it goes past, we see a little bee, honeybee on the side, with a good stinger, and it says the B team. And I'm pretty sure on the back bumper there we go, beware of the sting. So good livery there from Greg Hofard, very comedic. Sean Bingham in 4th currently. We've just seen Hannes van Veek put himself up into 3rd as well. Just behind him in P5, Shirin Raj Paul. Very popular driver in chat tonight. You see you've got a couple of fans shouting out for him. How's it, Kavir? We've got Francois Bernardi also shouting out in chat. No doubt shouting for Chris Bernardi. I'll quickly flip to racing for Bernardi Alphabet Racing. Currently in P17, I think he's really just got going though, so looking to improve as qualifying progresses. I also really like this livery. It's a nice sort of pattern and a good choice of colours there, working really well together with the turquoise blue and the yellow black striping. And just going to have a look at Fridge Findlay right now. I'm actually surprised he's not in a green livery, because representing Team Lotus Register Racing Fridge is, but not sure I can say that word on live stream, but that's actually probably why he's selected a brown car right now for the sub-team name, most likely. So in his brown BM, taking it around P7, looking very strong at the moment. Decides to pull it off and head back for now. James Leach, P16, just making his way around a little bit of traffic. Actually, no, that's not him making a way. He was giving way, rather, just for some of the faster riders coming through. This is a very striking livery indeed. The bright, I call them day glow livery of the bright red and blue, certainly sticking out very well with the blue rims. At some of the guys further down the field, Charles Wilkin is currently in the pits in P30, so he hasn't done a lap yet. Definitely expecting him to get out there and put a very competitive time on the board. Nice view of the pits here, where we see all the team strategists and whatnot on the pit wall closest to the track, just doing their thing. Peter Geldenaes, I think he's just got going as well, hasn't put a time on the board yet, but he is going to be making his way through for the sim racing crew, again in their sort of renowned colours as by now, this bright yellow and red. See someone flashing their lights behind him just to get out of the way. She does so at the moment. Jono Mervis is there. We've got Shiraz Dada for Race Car Fanatics team. Waldo Sweekers in P15. Making his way. Oh, I do like this blue BMW with the white rims, a very nice contrast. Making his way around as well. Ross Bartle also sitting down in P26 right now. I expect him to be out very soon because he should also be topping the charts. Killian Howsett also just shouting for Chris, of course. Chris Bernardi racing for the Bernardi Ultimate Racing team tonight. Aaron Thompson in his green and black BM is making his way out again. Also hasn't set a time yet, so he's on an out lap right now. There's a lot of quick guys still to come out, but for the time being, Nick Hodgson is still holding that pole position. Closest challenger to him at the moment, Hannes van Beek, is about half a second behind. We'll have to see if he can find some time. Oop, he's aborted that lap, so he's not going to be finding any more time right there, right now. Sas van der Westhuizen, meanwhile, is making his way around track right now. Simon's out on track as well, so racing for the Grumpy Monkey Sim Racing teams. Looking very racy. Oh, a little slippy and sideways there at the moment in P6. The track conditions I now have seen have officially moved from being classified as wet to being classified as damp. So continuing to dry. And I think in due course we're going to see much more than just a dry line developing. In fact, the full width of the track I'm pretty sure is going to be very dry very soon. Speaking of the circuit, it's looking a lot lighter now. I think the clouds have definitely been parted and a couple of sunspots are creeping through. And the track continuing to dry up, and Nick has just bailed out of the pits looking for another a hot lap as he completes his out lap at the moment. Certainly he's going to continue to get drier and drier. I'm still looking down my timing board and seeing some big names still just chilling in the pits. We've got Ross Bartle, actually he's out on an out lap now, apologies. Charles Wilkin is finally out as well, hasn't yet set a time behind him. James Leach Sr., Emily Benz, Yassine Manuel and Bjorn Buchner all yet to set some laps. It'll be very interesting to see what the likes of Ross Bartle and Charles Wilkin can do in particular. I'm expecting them to be challenging Nick for top spot. Got a feeling Charles is still out on his out lap right now. I'll have to see how hard he is pushing. Definitely seeing a good solid dry line throughout all of that now. You can make it out very easily. Drivers will be looking to capitalize on that dry line to eke out the fastest times possible. Just going to stay on board with Charles here just to see where he pops out when he completes his lap. So he's about to cross the line, whether he pops up onto the timing boards or not. Slaps up into second position, so it's a cracker of a lap, but still not quite enough to dethrone. Oh, actually I lie, Nick has been dethroned. So Nick's sitting in P3 right now, and indeed Ross Bartle and Charles Wilkin have taken those top two spots away from him. and by a significant margin too. 0.3 down is Charles Wilkin from Ross Bartle, and further just over half a second Nick is from Charles. So certainly have a lot of time to find now. The track is now officially being classified as greasy instead of damp, so it's more and more grip is being laid down by the guys as they drive around, by the track getting rubbered in, by the track drying out. And yeah, 12 minutes left. I think we're going to continue to see these lap times tumble. Just going to have a quick look at Anthony Wilson receiving a shout out from Neil Bullion in chat. And a very nice looking livery as well on this car. Get a close up of it as it goes around. Racing for Logistical Nightmare Racing, LNR. Another very big name in sim racing for South Africa as a league series. They race their own communities as well. Very popular, good friends of ours. And there you can see a good view of the LNR livery there, just emblazoned over the bonnet as well as the side of the car, looking very, very nice indeed. Nick Hodson has put himself back on top, so he has responded immediately to Ross Bartle and Charles Wilkin. Adrian Govender has put himself up into position 3, has just been dethroned by Charles Wilkin, so it is just a battle at the top here, and he's been dethroned again by Shren Rajpaul, who's just slammed himself up into 3rd with a cracker of a lap. So all to play for here. Every single lap that goes by, there's opportunity to go faster and faster. And yet again, my game sounds remuted after that intro vid, or the hot lap by Tariq. Apologies. Yes, indeed, Francois. What a lap by Tariq. Absolutely nailing it. Precision driving. And these drivers here today will be trying to emulate a lot of that as far as possible. Obviously not the greatest track conditions, having started off quite wet indeed and continuing to dry out, competing with traffic, you know, all sorts of variables to contend with, not the perfect hot lap conditions, but certainly looking to, you know, get your entry and exits of your corners right, your line, throttle and brake inputs, you know, just trying to be as smooth as possible. Going through the chicane section there as we watch Shren Rajpaul. Just under 10 minutes left. I'm going to roll another quick ad break. I'll check you in a couple of minutes. Apologies for cutting the BMW logo short there. Sign me up for some of that. How epic was that? Definitely, if anyone gets the opportunity to go for a track day experience, BMW Masterclass, yeah, look out for the M2 CS Racings. Sas van der Westhuizen has improved and put himself up to P4 right now. Just looking out for the subtle differences in the Grumpy Monkey Sim Racing liveries. We can see Sas here with the green side mirrors. I'm going to contrast that with what I'm seeing on Nick Hodson's car with the blue, dark blue side mirrors. And of course Ross Bartle with the yellow side mirrors. So if you guys are seeing the blue Grumpy Monkey Sim Racing cars make their way around track, Oof, as Ross gets a little bit on the grass there. Hashtag grassgate, iRacing, anyone? Pretty sure we don't have that in the Assetto Corsa Competizione. Yeah, Superior GT Racing Simulator. Sass has just put himself up on pole position. 7 minutes to go. What a lap. But can he hold on to it? It's only a 0.1 second advantage to Charles Wilkin right now. But what a lap from Sass. He must be ecstatic right now. But is that him? No, that's not him. He's making some setup adjustments. I can see the car up on the jacks. But where is Charles Wilkin? Can he make a response? Charles Wilkin for Hard Motorsports there. You can actually see his BMW in the background, still in the pits. Nicholson, meanwhile, out on P3. He is searching for another lap, but he's got some traffic to contend with here as the blue flags are waved and cars are diving out of the way. And he ramps over the chicane. That's definitely not going to be a quick lap for him, so he's just going to essentially make his way around. And hardest, yep, how's it in chat? The track is certainly improving. It's now gone from greasy to being classified as fast. So we are getting there. Lap times are going to tumble even further. It's just a matter of timing right now with just 6 minutes left. Now, can you pick the right spots to get out there, not put yourself in traffic? There's so much strategy when it comes to leaving the pits. And obviously then putting in the good times. Byron Thompson, meanwhile, has just slammed up into 4th position for another great lap in his green and black liveries. But, oh, it's Nick Hudson. He's just dethroned Sass as he comes across the line by some margin, 0.760. Sass, how can you respond? And Charles Wilkin, where's Ross Bartle? He's currently down in 9th right now. At some stage earlier tonight was leading the qualifying leaderboard. And all of these guys currently going faster than him right now because of the track progression. But don't discount him just yet. There's still 5 minutes left. And he has some pace in the bag as he crosses the line, P2. So not quite enough to dethrone Nick, but yep, puts himself back up there. Who is next to take a big chunk out of the leaders and dethrone someone else? Sean Bingham has done it. P2. The other grumpy, not grumpy sim racing, apologies. Point blank sim racing. Andrew Covender has just taken pole position. Wow. Point blank sim racing on it tonight. At 4 minutes left of quali, there's still so much to play for here. Bingham just quickly hopping to pits. He might be making some quick adjustments and then looking to get out there as the clock is ticking. To get your, essentially you need time to get your outlap done and then put yourself out for another fast lap. Charles Wilkin, meanwhile, in P6 is out there again, searching for a faster time. Look at that gap time difference between Nick Hodgson and Andrew Govender, 0.030. It's so unfortunate I don't have deltas available to me right now in terms of live lap time deltas, so I can see if Nick is improving on his current lap or not. Flashing the lights furiously, I think that was, unless it was just across the gradients of the hill, the traffic in front of him. It could have been that actually. But no improvement there for Nick. Ross Bartle is just meanwhile cemented first place. Endron in P2 as it stands, 3 minutes remaining. With the now 0.4 gap advantage Ross is currently enjoying in front of Endron Govender. 0.2 has just been improved, but not good enough to dethrone Ross Bartle just yet from pole position. 21 degrees ambient now, 27 track temperature. That's crept up about 3 or 4 degrees since the start of qualifying. Charles Oulton has just put himself up into P3. Here with Charles Oulton just looking to make his way around the track and improve ever so slightly. He's got blue flags being waved in front of him. It even looks like a Ghostworks livery car. It is indeed. So it's either Jonathan or Emily Benz. It looked like a car in 310, which should mean Jonathan Benz. Yep, just moving out of the way for Charles Oulton as he seeks to eke out 0.24 of a second to try and improve on the lap leaders here. The final corner. What will it be as he crosses the line? Does he improve? He improves to first position. So that was it. Charles has nailed the colors to the wall. He will have enough time to do one more lap. Will he choose to complete it? I think in my mind, he should. With the track continuing to improve, he's got nothing to lose. Doesn't look like any traffic in front of him. Ross Bartle, meanwhile, will try and respond to that. And let's go on board with Ross here and see how he gets around. Running it wide. Doesn't have too much traffic in front of him, hopefully. He's about to come across the line now, and he dethroned. It's a 0.013 gap. He takes it from Charles Oulton by 0.02, and just behind him Nick with a 0.19. Nick's in the pits. He's not going to be able to do another lap. Charles Oulton is spinning off. That's it. He cannot improve. Engine Governor is in the pits. Shrenraj Paul P5. He can still improve. Let's see on board here with Shrenraj Paul. He needs to make up just fractions of seconds if he wants to improve a position or two. The bridge goes, coming up to the final corner, hard braking, up and then down, and a sprint to the line. He was P5, he is now P1. Unbelievable. Shrenraj Paul nails it, pole position in the dying seconds of qualifying. Timed that to perfection to eke out the best out of the track. Sean Bingham is still out there. He's about to cross the line. And he goes P8. So that is it. Shrenraj Paul sneaks pole position ahead from Ross Bartle to round out the front row, followed shortly by Charles Oulton and Nick Hodson. What a session. Absolutely amazing. We're going to go to a quick 30-second ad break. Don't go anywhere. Wow, what a qualifying session. Welcome back. Svenraj Paul nailing it at the end there to put his car up in pole position. And we see a column of grumpy monkey cars on the left-hand side there. Charles Wilkin sitting in P3 with his white and red hard motorsport racing livery. And got about a minute and a half countdown before the rolling formation starts. So you'll see the cars pop up on the jacks and then back down as guys are making their last minute adjustments to their pit stop strategies. Weather's looking pretty clear. I don't think there's any threat of rain right now. At least certainly for the next half an hour. It is an hour-long race. We'll have to see if there's any surprises at the end, just to add a little bit of spice. But for now, it looks like completely dry conditions. The track is optimum in terms of grip levels. We've got a 22 ambient, 30-degree tack temperature. It's actually quite nice and warm. Not too hot, not too cold. I think this is optimal driving conditions. Let's go racing. Another opportunity while we wait. You'll see our partners and sponsors and charity initiative logos on screen tonight. Jogebed in the bottom right there, the Child and Youth Care Centre who we've selected this season. Very proud to say that collectively everyone racing with us has donated towards the charity to be able to do so. We've raised just shy of 19,000 Rand since the start of July for them. Collectively bringing up the total we've raised for charity to about 147,000 Rand over the last couple of years for a range of different charities. So big kudos to everyone. Thanks very much for that. A lot of guys donating very generously, all for a better cause. So it's really great to be something special and great to be a part of that. As we see cars peeling away from the start-finish line now, it is a formation start. So they'll peel off into single file, even though they started off in double file. And just before the last corner or so, they'll be getting back into the double file formation and holding steady until they see the green light as they go over the line, and then we'll be racing in live conditions. So that's how the start's going to work. Keep an eye out for that. As we see a couple of guys. Some guys just choose to drive nice and straight. Other guys you might see weaving about a little bit, trying to get a little bit of extra warmth in their tires. You can see a lot of rubber deposits on the side of the track as well. As the track forms throughout today. Looking a little bit further down the fields. In P9, solid top 10 qualifying. He'll be looking to capitalize upon that, bringing his experience from the real life racing world as he knocks one of the bollards out the way nice and early. Don't want it getting in the way during race conditions. So we have 32 races tonight. Yassine Manuel rounding up the pack. Good solid experienced racer. I'm sure if he keeps it nice and clean and consistent, he can have a good result. Got Chris Bernardi, P31, Peter Geldnys, we also saw in frame there, Yuri Cordy at the back, then towards the back of the pack at P29, Emily Bentz is out there in P28 right now for the other Ghostworks Racing. Bjorn Buchner in his... Oh, someone's lost it on the formation lap. That's unfortunate. As you can see, the drivers now forming up to form their double file. I'm going to head back up to the top of the pack. I'm going to hit a little bit of a helicam. You can see as they're going over the start pit straight, stacking in the right orientations as they need to be. We're about to go green racing here.
Green light, go, go, go.
And we are green light racing. And immediately we see Ross Bartle trying to challenge Shirin Rajpal around the outside. Will he be able to make it stick? I think he's going to run ever so slightly wide, but he's immediately got the position away from Shirin Rajpal. The tower is a little bit lagging behind, but we do know that the Grumpy Monkey livery of Ross Bartle is in blue over there. Shirin Rajpal now in P2, and he will look to not slip any more positions, but certainly look to keep that pressure on Ross Bartle as they filter through. It looks like a pretty clean getaway for the rest of the field. We've got Charles Wilkin in P3 just behind him. It's that must be Nick Hodson, I'm sure. So a very good clean start by the field. Here we go on board with Nick Hodson, looking at the top three in front of him as it stands. You see all sorts of pressure that he's going to be applying immediately, I'm sure. Very aggressive through the curbs here, missing that tyre barrier critically. Under the bridge, and it's a big sprint down the back straight, slightly curving. Underneath the second bridge, down to the final corner, hard on the brakes, and then they'll be around onto the start-finish straight again. Just keeping it nice and steady, correcting there, does Nick. As he comes across the line to start lap 2. Hounding the back of Charles Wilkin at the moment. And a little bit further down the field, looking at Mike LaRue currently in P7, also doing very nicely for himself. Venomworks Racing. He's got Hannes van Veek on his tail. Oh, unfortunately someone is experiencing some network lag there. I hope it didn't cause any collisions. That is unfortunate. I can't quite see who that was offhand. Everyone's pings in the tower seem alright. There's Fridge Finley running wide there. I'm not sure if he was affected by that or not. As they pile through the chicanes and get going again. Jumping a little bit further down here to Renier Leach, is a big sort of gap that's opened up to I think there's Roxanne Bartle in front of him, and in front of Roxanne Bartle the biggish gap to James Leach, just slightly further up the field. We can probably go on board here with James Leach looking back beyond, so yeah, there's a nice sort of healthy gap down to Roxanne Bartle as it stands, but yeah, definitely a mid-pack train here. As James Leach is trying to hold on to the back of it and not fall any further behind. Back up to the top now, Ross Bartle still enjoying a comfy lead. Got Shirin Rajpal, he's just set the fastest lap of the race as well. Nice gap to second here that Ross is enjoying. 1.8 seconds. not a lot of breathing room, but just relative to the rest of the field, running slightly wide there. Tower updates here. Sean Walker still holding P3, Nick Hudson in P4. It certainly looks like this top four have broken away from the rest of the pack from P5. The rest of the pack, so to speak, Adrian Govender for Point Blank Racing. Just leading the next sort of set of cars here. Looks like another grouping of about 4 or 5. So Adrian has Sas van der Vestes and Grumpy Monkey on his tail. Shell Oil's corner at the moment of T5. Blasting their way through that little left-right chicane of Britain's, and then down this mini straight of Hilltop for the next chicane at turn 10 here, turn 10, 11, 12, that complex of Hislops into Knickerbrook. Another funny named corner. Even has a little bit of history on it. You can read on Wikipedia if you want, but it involves a woman's knickers essentially hanging from a tree. And just around Druids Bend there as they head to the next straight section of Warwick Bridge. Here's said bridge. Heading down to T16 Lodge Corner. Which is essentially the final corner, because turn 17, this deer leap is really just a bit of a kink. Straight, the pit box is already there as they go around for another lap. Mike LaRue still holding firm in P7, but he's got all sorts of company behind him. Hannes van Beek still not leaving too much space between them, piling on the pressure. We're on board here with Hannes van Beek and his view. With a few cars in front of him, Mike LaRue is looking to be his first victim, followed by Sas. Braking, just following the train for now, not looking to make any silly moves. Good feathering the throttle there as he just keeps the car under good control here. Lannis racing for BWO Vipers. I see Charles Wilkin has just taken the fastest lap of the race. Still 1.7 seconds behind Ross Bartle, however. Trenroach Paul 0.8 behind him. We've got side-by-side action. You have Hannes going up the inside of Mike LaRue, and that is a pass that is done. A little wiggle on the final straight as he straightens up, but can Mike come back at him? Don't think he had enough of a good drive out of that final corner to make any sort of comeback stick. So good pass there by Hannes. jump around and find another battle. Got Jonathan Bence right now, who's tucked in behind Waldo Swickers, whose second-hand BMW there is looking pretty poorly. Unfortunately, it looks like Waldo has been in the war somewhat. Oh, there's a little bit of a wiggle. And has a bit of an off-track excursion. And someone in the background there has just nailed the barriers as well. That must be... who was in an orange and white car? It's not White Avis. Is it Hardis? I'm wondering if it's Hardis Boy, so I'm struggling to lock onto him as a camera car. We'll stay with this battle, however, as White Avis is... he's behind Peter Geldnes, if I'm not... oh, Hardis is not in chat. Apologies, Hardis. No wonder I can't flick onto you onto my timing board. I forgot you mentioned in chat that you were having internet connectivity difficulties. We will find out who that orange car was in a second. We've got White Avis currently. Renier Hatting. Peter Geldnes is leading this troop, meanwhile. Here is Yassine. Is it Bjorn? His signature Gunston livery. I think it may have been Bjorn that had a bit of an off-track excursion there. Unless there's another orange car out on track tonight that I have missed. So this Team Gunston livery of Bjorn's is looking pretty healthy though in terms of scratches and bumps, so maybe there was... must have been someone else. That car is actually looking in pristine nick right now, so apologies for thinking it may have been you, Bjorn. Your car is looking pretty nice and clean. Just a quick check up on the leaders at the front. Ross Bartle is still looking quietly confident. Charles Wilkin, still with the fastest lap, is looking to capitalize on that still with about a second down from Ross. And timing board seems to indicate that's a full second. To me, on track, that looks like a lot closer, and certainly looking to put some pressure on Ross right now. Now the timing is just snapped to 0.3, so yeah, I think unfortunately I'm working with some delays on the timing here as a broadcast tool. Got some inside info that Hannes may have disconnected. Seeing that reflect on my chat just yet, as we have a little wiggle as the cars go around the final corner here. Charles may or may not have a better drive than Ross. No, that gap is looking pretty consistent. The pit window is now open for the next 37 minutes. Oh, big off-track excursion there by Ross Bartle. Just looking at the tying board, Hannes was P7. Can't seem to click onto Hannes either, so it looks like he may have indeed suffered a disconnect. Unfortunate for him, he was definitely running in the top 10. And look at this on track here, we have Charles having a little look around the inside, but tucks back in line. So certainly keeping Ross under all sorts of pressure here. Oh, Ross has made a mistake and he's on the grass. That is going to give Charles an opportunity. Is it enough of an opportunity? This track is so narrow. Ross just running defensive here. But I think that's allowed him to get by side. I want to get a wider angle here as they come through the... Not sure what corner I'm at the moment, to be honest. It's just before one of the first bridges. It may have been Warwick Bridge as they round the final corner now. And Charles made it stick. Just one little mistake there from Ross, and that was enough for Charles to keep the pressure on and make a very good pass overall, make it stick. Flip back down to Gregory Hofart right now. Oh, he is in a battle here. Gregory in the yellow and black B team livery, and that is definitely Byron Thompson's green and black livery behind him. And just in front of him, that was James Leach in his very standout Dayglow coloured red and blue livery. And Byron Thompson having a little look here. But oh no, there's a mistake from Gregory Hofart, and he is going farming. Can he get back on track safely? There's a bit of a wall out there. Ooh, Gregory! And that rejoin, he just needs to slam on the anchors just to make sure he doesn't collide with one of the Grumpy Monkey liveries coming through. And unfortunately, that is going to cause him to tumble down the order. I think he lost out on a couple of positions there, 2 or 3 at least. Oh, cutting the chicane! And hold your anchors, hold your anchors. See one of the LNR cars come steaming through there as well. And Gregory Hofart did well in the end there not to have any collisions, as the flags get waved just to warn other drivers about what's going on track here. But that was Sean Bingham, who made his way through. Fridge Findlay. James Leach, of course, got through as well. Byron Thompson in this green and black just behind. We had Rennie Leach making his way through as well, and then Anthony Wilson in the LNR Racing also made his way through. So a very costly mistake there for Greg. I'm sure he'll just be looking to calm it down again and maybe make some positions up. Jonathan Bent's just running a little bit wide there as he rounds the kink. Now the Deer Leap kink just before on the main straight. The isn't straight if you watch the Grand Tour. Here with Mike LaRue, who's closing up that gap a little to Sass van der Westhuizen, and is definitely looking to place Sass under pressure here now. This is the cool, calm and collected visor of Mike LaRue. Now looking forward to Sass van der Westhuizen himself. Final corner through the kink and off they go. I have a quick jump back up to Shirin Roche Paul here, currently in P3, who's got that gap down to under a second to Ross Bartle in front, so running a little bit wide over there. Not too wide, but looks like he needs to make a couple of corrections just to keep the car stable. Jumping to Mike LaRue here, that gap is closed up to Sass van der Westhuizen. 0.3 now as they come down one of the back straights. running, I was about to say he's running on the inside there. He is choosing to take his pit stop now. As he slows it down, pulls up anchors before that pit line. You definitely don't want to be getting any sort of speeding penalties, throwing away good positions and points here. Just keep an eye on how long his stop is for the moment, as he looks to get his pit stop cleared. First of anyone to pit right now, and off he goes. I think that's going to put him out in probably around about P10 or so as he exits the pits. It's not an overly long pit section on Oulton Park. He's going to come on P11, no, P12. Just in front of Waldo Swicher's. I saw his little battered and bruised BMW over there. He's holding out his pit stop. Have to see if he repairs or opts to repair some damage in his stop, which is yet to come. Perhaps he's felt so far that the damage is just cosmetic. Perhaps if you can go on board with him. Yeah, the bonnet isn't really flapping around or anything. I'm sure that's probably not actually impacting him too badly right now, I'd say. Have a look up the field to Fridge Finlay, who, at least on my timing board, was a couple of seconds behind, but I think he's just got past James Leach for P8. Oh, as James goes wide over the grass. Up now to P3, Ross Bartle is all sorts of behind Shiren Rushball with Nick Hodson on their tail as well. So it's a grumpy monkey 3-4 here behind Shiren. And will they work as a team to attack Shiren Rushball? Or is Nick going to do Ross no favors as they look to try and make their way past Shiren Rushball? Shiren now will be feeling the most pressure out of all of these guys, I think. So just go on board with him, looking over his rear wing to the looming grumpy monkey blue liveries. Here we go. I think it looks like Ross has got a little bit of a better drive than Shiren, and he's looking left, he's looking right, he's going left now. But they're super close. I think Ross had to dive out of the way there to avoid colliding with the back of Shiren Rushball. Looks like he's taking the fight to him now, trying to go around the outside, now inside. Just in the foreground you see Charles Wilkin there. They're not too far behind him either, but obviously battling is not going to do their lap times any favors in terms of catching up to Charles. But for the time being, Shiren holding his nerve in P2. Pressure just subsiding for the time being as they go through this back section of the track, through the chicane now as well. But I'm pretty sure they're just biding their time, they being the grumpy monkey guys, before they launch another attack on Shiren towards the end of the lap. Now I'm just looking for where Shiren has been weakest before. I think just at the end of the work bridge final straight coming into the Lodge corner T16. Just to see if they can get a better drive than him out of that corner and pile on the pressure yet again on this start-finish straight. So here it is now. Let's see what happens. Well, it's not the greatest of exits, I think, by the Grumpy Monkey guys. You can see Nick, I think it was Ross, running a little bit wide in comparison. That may have upset his handling. I think for now Shren's going to live to fight another lap out in front. Meanwhile, Byron Thompson rounding up the top 10 for now, looking to hunt down James Leach in front of him. Some great views as they come through that chicane. Slops to Knickerbrook. Bridge they go down to the final corner again. What can they do on this track? Shren running a little wide there as well. I'm not sure if that would be enough to get the live stewards or the automated live stewards interested in track limits at all, but he's running nice and defensive here into T1. Putting the car exactly where it needs to be to fend off their position. Ross Bartle is going to try and take the inside liner though, as the door was left ever so slightly open, which I think is all it's going to take. He's going to have to hang it around the outside though to make it stick. And wasn't able to do so, so Shren again similarly defending that position. And an epic battle here for P2 that we're just enjoying. What's going to be very interesting is which one of these front runners is going to be first to bite with the mandatory pit stop that we have. I don't think any one of them right now is going to want to pit. Oh, who's this just yielding? I think one of the back marker Grumpy Monkeys. Just to throw a little bit of extra confusion there. We got another back marker diving out of the way. You definitely slamming the wall. You don't want to get in the mix of these runners here, and I think is that Nick that's fallen off? Unfortunately it was. Just getting a little put off by some of those back markers, and he's going to be feeling really frustrated right now. That's relieved some of the pressure, but not all of it from Shren Roche Paul. Ross trying to hang in there himself. Looks like that's Waldo Swiggers in the back. They're also having a little bit of an off-track excursion. He'll try and keep off the racing line of the leaders as they come through, just flashing the lights. Briefly, Shren does as Nick, or Ross rather, unfortunately getting caught out by that as well. That is not going to help his fight. That he tries to take to Shren. As we can see, the trackside commentator, they're just mentioning that we're halfway through the race. Certainly definitely some frustration is going to be felt out there tonight by some of these guys. Just due to how narrow the track is, how blind some of the corners are, you know, it's quite easy to get caught out by some of the front runners coming through. You need to stay very attuned to your crew chief, your ears, what they're telling you. And I mean, sometimes you just can't help it, you know. Fortunately, no real collisions, but there were some off-track farming excursions that went on there just to try and avoid some of those collisions. But for now, that's relieved some of the pressure that Shred Rajpal was feeling from Ross Bartle. Codson as well is going to have to do a lot of hard work to try and close that gap up again. Engine Governor, meanwhile, has been brought even further close together as a result of that. Just behind him, that is Walter Suga, who is a back marker at the moment. So the next car behind him, in true racing terms, is Sas van der Vestes in NP6. He's having a jump down to Roxanne Bartle right now, who's 0.7 of a second behind Anthony Wilson. Roxanne racing for Sim Racing Academy team for Grumpy Monkey. And Anthony Wilson, LNR. I'm almost wondering now if one of the faster Grumpy Monkey teams at the front are going to be thinking about taking an undercut pit stop or not. Just to try and do something different to Sharen Rajpal or Shah Wilken out in front. I do know, just judging from the last race at Laguna Seca, that they seem to prefer doing a very late pit stop and do a splash and dash and perhaps not take tyres, but it's difficult to say what is going to be best here today in these current conditions. And there's just in front of Anthony Wilson there, I think that is Renier Leach. He's getting a little bit squiggly and sideways, which has put him under pressure now from Anthony Wilson. And go on board here with Renier, looking back. Might as well close up under braking. Love the little M-class detail that Anthony has put into his BMW's front radiator there. Anthony's having a little look. He's going side by side here with Rainier Leach, but tucks back in. You can see as well, just as they round the final corner, that the front of Rainier Leach's car is looking a little scuffed, so he might be noticing some damage. As they go side by side, and Anthony tries to look and see if there was a door open on the inside of T1. That's not going to happen just yet. We've got Roxanne Bartle in the background there, also just waiting to see if she can pounce on anything that's going to become of this battle here for P11. As they round Shell Oil's corner, a little bit of a hairpin. It looks like Roxanne unfortunately made a little bit of a mistake there on her line, just causing her to fall back and out of the battle for P11 as it stands right now. So now it's just Anthony Wilson trying to keep that pressure on Rainier Leach. As they are coming down Hilltop into the Hislop sort of kink through Knickerbrook onto Hill Clay, or Clay Hill rather, T13-14 complex down into Druids just before the long back straight under that Warwick Bridge. So we'll be coming up to now. does look like a little bit of that pressure has been eased as Renier manages to maintain the gap, extend it ever so slightly to relieve the pressure for now. The back, I'm going to hop to the front. Battles again, where we see Shiren Rojpaul, who all of a sudden has got Ross Bartle all behind him again. He's managed to close up that gap incredibly quickly. Not sure if Ross just had an exceptional drive or Shiren made a mistake or a little bit of both, somewhere in between. But this battle is back on again for P2, and you can see in the foreground there, I think those are a couple of back markers, so hopefully they don't encounter the exact same problems that they had a couple of laps ago, and those guys can find a way to mostly stay out of trouble as the leaders come through. I'm gonna have a quick glance at Charles. Where is he doing in terms of traffic as things go? So it looks like that's Bjorn Buchner in front of him potentially. So catch the side number of 23, which is indeed Bjorn Buchner. So he's going to get out of the way. Yep. Oh, he's diving to the pits, so well out of the way of Charles Wilkin coming through to start another lap in the lead. Meanwhile, this battle behind us, Shiren Rojpaul holding off Ross Bartle. Ross is looking to the inside, but he doesn't have enough of an advantage to stick his nose anywhere soon. But there is a back marker in front of them. It just gets a little squiggly, and there's a little flash of the lights just to let him know you're there. And we're trying to get a good glimpse. Oh no, Shiren's made a mistake. Perhaps rattled by that back marker, concentrating too much on flashing the lights, and that's going to allow Ross Bartle to sail by super easily, and I think Nick Hodgson as well. Yep. It's an unfortunate mistake there for Shiren. But I always believe that it's easier to chase than it is to defend, so Shiren's a good driver. I'm sure he's going to pile on all sorts of pressure now and reverse the situation on the two Grumpy Monkey cars that have slipped through. They've still got some back market traffic there. In fact, I was just saying, Shiren get a millimeter away from Nick there. Wonder if we can go on board here with Shiren just behind. That looked like millimeters of space between them. Oh, there was no contact. Oh, a back marker just getting out of the way. They're almost stopping on the side of the road, which is dangerous. Fortunately, no contacts. Super narrow track here, as I was saying at the start of this broadcast. How we race GT3 here at one stage. Those cars are just super wide. Yeah, circumstances, this is racing. Can happen to anyone here. There's still a long way to go in this race. Relatively speaking, 21 minutes to the hour long it was. Down the field, give some guys some airtime. Cess van der Vis and just overtaking one of the back markers there of car number 27. That may have been the yellow. No, number 27 was Hannes, I'm not sure who that was. Sean Bingham, meanwhile there's the yellow car. I need to catch an eye. I'll see if we can find who that was. Sean Bingham, regardless, in number 24, P7 is coming up to him. Let's see if we can spot who that is. Second race of the season. I'm still learning who is all what livery. Let's see if I can go on board here. And can you see a race car number on this yellow BMW? Who are you? Does it look like it says 27, doesn't it? It's 20 something. Got out of the way now. Let's see. Was it Shiraz? I think it's Shiraz. It's Shiraz. It does say no, that's position 27. It's car number 22. Here we go. Mental note made. Race Car Fanatics team, Shiraz Dada. You can see on the tower board a couple of guys, especially towards the back end of the pack, have made their pit stops. So they're looking to get some good clean laps in and climb some positions as the leaders in the top half of the field have yet to make their pit stops. Coming off here, Nick Hodson still under pressure a little bit by a Shireen Roche pull behind. Roxanne Bartle, I think, coming into the pits. She's bitten and taken hers now. It's definitely going to see Mike Carew gain a position, I'm sure. Or someone's off in the background there. Thompson is side by side with Fridge Findlay here. Still looking at Shireen Roche Bull is about a half a second behind Nick Hudson. Letting him get away with anything right now. I think they're going to be both looking at the track maps to see who is coming up ahead of them in terms of back markers. All the meanwhile trying to figure out in their minds when best to take a pit stop. Solid P20. One of the Grumpy Monkey cars behind him, looking in a little bit of a shabby mix. That is car number 102, which I think is Justin Walden. That is not for position as it currently stands. I think Justin is a lap or two down. There we see the blue and red livery of James Leach, also just looking to get by. The blue flags will continue to be waved. Stop here, Shireen Roche Paul. How's he doing against Nick? To the dash cam, Shireen, just to see if we can see any obvious differences between racing lines or anything like that. Braking points between himself and Nick. Getting ever so slightly closer to the apex over there. Just running a little bit wide and cutting back in compared to Shireen. Not sure which is faster at this point. Just a slight lift there as they come into the Shell Mills hairpins. A little bit of a sideways slide there as he applied the loud pedal there, Shireen Roche Bull, which you would have to correct for. Coming through the Britain's pain. Over hilltop, down hilltop, into the hill slops. riding those curbs, getting on the power nicely there actually. Lift and back on the power, and there's a back marker coming up to them. We'll have to see how they can deal with the situation. Nick is going to encounter them first through Druids. You're hard on the power now, all the way flat, coming through underneath the bridge. Looks like that is a back marker in P29, which I think might be Onekotse, who's just pulling off just to let those leaders go by without any sort of incident. Just seen Manuel currently pulling into the pits, putting in at least a litre of fuel, may or may not be flipping the boots, hammering out some panels on his bonnets. TBC. I've just seen Fridge Friendly unfortunately reported getting a drive-through penalty. That may be for speeding in the pit lane or alternatively for excessive track cuts. One of the two offhand, I'm not 100% sure. I think it might just be track cuts. Speeding, I'm fairly sure, gets you a stop-go 30 these days. It's pretty harsh. Still none of these drivers taking the bite on a pit stop yet at the front. Top 6 yet to pit. It looks like the majority of the field below that point have all taken their pit stops, SAS included, who's potentially looking like the most to gain here, having got his pit stop done and dusted in terms of the front runners, so to speak. So we'll have to see as the top 6 eventually pull into the pit window. There's not much left of the pit window left to do so. Charles Wilkins in, Ross is in, Nick's in, and Schreiner's in. They're all doing it now. All pitting at exactly the same time. Charles is exiting the pits as we speak. Where is SAS? SAS is this the final corner he's rounding now? It is. So depending on how speedy those pit stops were, he may or may not gain a position here. He's gained at least one. I think he gained at least one position there on James Leach. He's been put out into a little bit of traffic there. Car number 8111 is Yassine's, but he's managed to get out the way or not impede SAS in any way, shape or form. Off they go again. I'm a little worried about Sean Bingham, who has yet to pit. With a minute left at the pit window, he must be coming in now. It's his last opportunity to do so. Otherwise he's going to face quite a severe penalty, I think. May have a long way to go to do so. Is he at risk of missing the pit window altogether? This may have been a severe mistake from Sean Bingham if he's not going to make it to the pits in time. He's got 40 seconds left to do so, and I think he's only halfway through the track. This is the Hislops he's coming up to now. 30 seconds left to go. He's still going to make it all the way down that back straight. Clay Hill straight first, now down to Water Tower Druids, and then down Warwick Bridge straight. I think he's out of time and in trouble. So don't be surprised if you see a little penalty coming Sean's way. Handed up by the automated race stewards, unfortunately. Keeping an eye on the gaps, meanwhile, Nick Hodson. P4 just behind Schreiner Paul.
Pit window is now closed.
Pit window has officially been declared closed. And Sean Bingham is still out. pulls into the pit lane now. It is too late, I fear, for him. Hardest is reporting that Sean Bingham did pit, but it did not register. I'm wondering if he actually changed the minimum requirements to clear the pit stop, which would have included at least 1 liter of fuel, if I recall our track rules and configurations correctly. But yeah, unfortunate Sean there for you. Can't speak to exactly what's happened. But, I'm sure that is a lot of frustration going through Sean right now. We'll have to see what sort of automated penalty is handed out as a result. Getting back to the runners here, we've got Shiren just behind. That is Shiraz's yellow BM. I remembered it this time. Blue flags will be waved. Shiraz gets nicely out of the way there. As well, having made his way past Shiraz Dadaz, looking to close up that gap again to Shiren Roche Ball, as they've got another back marker just in front of Shiren, the red and black BM pulling out of the way though, so it should be alright. Hopefully Nick doesn't catch him into T1. Looks like, yep, he's indicating his intentions as he jumps back onto the racing line through that corner. You've got to be careful when you use the indicators to make sure that you're indicating what you're doing and not what you want the other car to do. And unfortunately, Sean Bingham has pitted, but of course that mandatory pit stop has not been cleared because it wasn't completed during the pit window, which is why he can still have that little orange bar with the 1 next to it, unfortunately for him. So that is pretty unfortunate. I think it looks like he's not getting an immediate penalty, so I'm pretty sure there'll probably be some sort of post-race penalty applied. No idea how long. It might be a 30-second stop-go. It might be a harsher penalty. I'm not entirely sure offhand. Having a look at Roxanne Bartle here. This is for position attacking P9 of Byron Thompson's green liveried BMW in front of her. Odd one's lying in the track there as they make their way through the chicane. Odd is just asking whether Sean Bingham will get a DQ or not. He won't get a DQ from us in terms of manual post-race penalties, but whatever the Assetto Corsa Competizione stewards, in other words the automated in-game stewards, decide to do with him will remain in force. So I'm pretty sure the game will hand out some sort of post-race penalty. I'm not sure if that's going to be a time penalty or position penalties or what, so we'll have to actually see what happens to him at the end. I'm guessing it's a post-race time penalty. I'm guessing it's at least... It's got to be more than an SG30. It'll probably be... no, who knows, a minute's penalty, 2 minutes, we'll have to see and report back. Uncharted territory. Gaps on track right now. Field's a little spread out. I've got a little gap here between Peter Culnace. You can see Bjorn's orange signature Gunster livery ahead of him. Racing for P20. just in front of Bjorn. We've got Mike LaRue here, technically on a different lap right now, so not exactly fighting for position. But he's just looking to take it home in the last 4 minutes of this race. Jumping back up to near the top, Charles Wilkin is currently enjoying a very healthy 6.5 second lead to Ross Bartle in P2. Train Roche Paul and Nick Hodson, I think, probably still the closest battle out on track right now. Timing board saying it's about 0.8 seconds, 1 second, 0.8 as they come through that little chicane. Jump back down to Byron Thompson here, who's in the middle of a sandwich with Roxanne Bartle, and just behind him, Gregory Hofart to the B team livery has well quite a bit, and has come to the party with this little battle for P10 here, P9. Byron Thompson in the middle, as you can see, just wiggling to get it under control here for the final corner, looking ahead to Roxanne Bartle and looking behind in the mirrors. You can just see Gregory Hofart there as they will close up during the accordion effect to break in, then open up again. Wrestling to keep that car under control. To come down to the Shell Oil not chicane, the hairpin bend very shortly.
Leaders on final lap.
I've just seen Roxanne Bartle go a little wide here, which is going to allow the opportunity for Byron Thompson to try and get a little bit closer, potentially look for open doors up the inside here. As we've just heard the race reporter declare that Charles Wilkin is on the final lap of the race. Looking very good there. Ross Bartle in P2. Train Roche Paul, barring any sort of mistakes or catastrophic incidents with any backmarkers, I think this is how the top three is going to round out with 10 seconds to go. Nick Hodson searching for that P3 position, but I think it's not just going to be his day today. On Charles Wilkin. We'll jump back to him very shortly. We're going to have a quick check-in on this mid-pack battle here. Byron Thompson in the back of Greg Hofart, who's running very wide, has to try and keep it in control. Roxanne Bartle leading that train for P9 at the moment. We're going to hop back to Charles. How's he doing? I think he's just come under the bridge, so he's going to go around come around the final corner and take victory for round 2 at Oulton Park. He does a little celebratory wiggle as he crosses the line. Ross Bartle following seat here to come across in P2. And a good result for him there for Grumpy Monkey and Shiren Rajpaul rounding out the podium. A very solid drive by Shiren here. We're going to quickly hop back to this mid-pack battle, see how it's developing. Gregory Hofart has got past Roxanne. Hasn't reflected on the timing tower yet, but you can see it happening on screen. So he has stolen P9 away from Roxanne Bartle in the dying seconds here. Pretty sure that's Renia Leach at the back of this train as well. Will there be any last second changes? Nick Hodson, meanwhile, takes it home P4, Sas van der West P5, Edwin Governor P6, Mike LaRue P7, Anthony Wilson P8, and we just see Greg Hofart take it across the line for P9, Roxanne Bartle running on your top 10, and Byron Thompson and Renia Leach just narrowly missing out there as we see on stream. I'm going to go and find some podium winners. Charles, Ross and Shiren. Stick around. We have our race winners. Just dragging the guys into chat. How's it, guys? We've got Charles Wilkin, we've got Ross Bartle and Shiren Rajpaul rounding out your podium. Charles, I'm going to start with you. How's it going? Well done in the win.
Oh, thanks a lot, Ryan.
Looked like you had a great race out there today. Not the greatest qualifying session, unfortunately, Shiren. It looks like you took top honors there at the death there. What a qualifying session, Shiren. Talk to us.
That was a good one. I guess it was the case of the last man on the track had the best track here. So
absolutely.
The track was
starting out wet. I think that was from a spectator's point of view. I couldn't have asked for a more exciting qualifying session. Just lap on lap every single time, just getting faster and faster. Ross, well done to you as well. P2. How'd your race go?
Oh, Ryan. Yeah, firstly, congrats to these guys. It was a good race. Yeah, it was good. Just struggled a little bit tonight. Bit of pace in the end, but yeah, just I will take the points for now. A bit of an average performance on my behalf, but yeah, take it.
Yeah, no worries. It looked like a couple of guys out there, I think you, yourself included, struggled with some of the back markers today. Oulton Park obviously being quite a narrow track. I know we've raced GT3s here in the past, and I don't know how the hell we did it, but certainly it's felt, I'm sure, no wider at all out there today with a lot of cars out on track.
No, I was on the grass at one point, so yes.
Yeah, I agree. We caught that on stream. All in all, it looked like quite an exciting, nail-biting battle, though. Charles, talk to us about your strategies for pit stops and so on. It looked like everything went pretty smoothly on your side.
Ryan, not actually. I lost 5 seconds in the pits again.
Oh wow! What
so I have to work on my pit stops. But otherwise, except I had a slow puncture about halfway into the race. But other than that, it was all fine.
Okay, good. Well, kudos on keeping that in check there. We certainly didn't pick that up on the live stream. Shiren, any closing words from your side? Looked like you had a crack over quali and then just lost out a little bit on a couple of positions.
No, I also had a slow puncture, but I had it early in the race. So when I dive bombed Bartle by mistake, we just understeered completely. So Trying to manage that was it was hard, because like it was the first left rear and then got the front left. So I think I finished off with like 25.1 psi on the left hand side, front and back.
Hectic, so yeah, definitely a managing game for sure. But certainly we saw a lot of exciting battles between you guys. I know Nick Hodson was also up there at one point in the race, just swapping places with you guys. I think the two Grumpy Monkey cars were hounding you at one point, Sharon. We were all hanging onto the edges of our seats. Yeah.
I was watching videos on how to do pit stops this morning, and just watching. I beat Nick in the pit stop. So I was excited for that. Yeah, I was like, yo.
Nice one. Alright guys, I think we're going to leave it there. Thanks very much for joining me in the booth. Thanks for racing, and kudos for the podium positions again. And we'll catch all of you in the next one.
Thanks, Ryan.
As for the battles, Ross, ciao. Enjoy it.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay.
Ciao. Alright, thanks everyone for joining the live stream as well. Unfortunately, my co-commentator Gas couldn't make it tonight. Gas, we'll catch you in the next one hopefully. And yeah, thanks to everyone who tuned into the live stream as well for your support. It's really much appreciated. Shouting for all the fellow drivers as well. It's really nice to have you here engaging. So thanks for that. I really enjoyed tonight's race. And yeah, I'm going to leave you with that and catch you in the next round next Monday. Don't miss it. Ciao, ciao.